Hello! As I am an experienced mage player in the Burning Crusade, I decided to make a little guide that might help some people. So here we go. The plan is as follows. First, the PvE and its aspects. The professions, the statistics, the fire and arcane specializations, with their rotations. And the best for the end, the PvP. Professions, statistics, the viable arena comps. And I'll talk about the gameplay in another dedicated video, cause otherwise this one would be way too long. It is well known that the mage is essential in raids. He brings buff, food, a good burst summer, G-curse, AoE, controls, portals. Concerning the professions, the best choice is to combine tailoring and enchanting. First, because it's the most practical way to reach 375. You craft a cloth item that you disenchant again and again. But most importantly, because being enchanting gives you 24 more spell damage thanks to the rings. And tailoring allows you to craft sets and items really powerful that you're not gonna change until the tier 5. Then, if you wanna be a big try-harder, as the enchanted rings persist even if you remove the profession, replace it with leather working in the purpose of taking advantage of the drums. The fire specialization is like the standard spec to play, the best in heroics and in tier 4. Later you could consider changing to arcane, but we'll see about it after. So you have kinda two different specs as a fire mage, the one with the icy vein and the one with clear casting. It will depend on your gear. If you're going easily, choose the clear casting spec. But if you don't have any mana issues, you can favor the burst by taking the icy vein. The statistics. The most essential is to reach the hit cap, which is 164. Then haste, spell damage, crit and intelligence. Here is the meta gem. 2 blue gems will be needed. Rotation. The targets needs to be affected by 5 improved scorch. Every fire mage in the raid must participate. Then spam fireball again and again and again and again, while taking care of refreshing the scorch debuff on the last seconds. You can use your CDs few seconds after the start of the fight, by being careful with your threat. Arcane. The arcane specialization becomes interesting only with the good gear and the 2 parts from the tier 5. That increases your arcane blast damage by 20%. That's why a good mana management is necessary. Being with a Shadow Priest, a Resto Shaman and receiving the Druid's Innervate is almost mandatory. The statistics. So thanks to the talents, you only need 70 hit rating. Then damage, intelligence, crit and haste. Here is the spec. Don't forget your mage armor. Arcane Blast is your main spell. Use it most of the time. Switch to Frostbolt in case of mana threat problems. And that's pretty much it, yeah. The PvP. So now I'm going to talk about the best professions for PvP, the stats, viable arena comps, and the specializations. Here we go. Even though the engineering has become way less interesting compared to as it was in Classic, this profession is still really efficient and fun. You receive a really good helmet for PvE and PvP, the grenades that embellishes the gameplay, really nice gadgets like the Nigh Invulnerability Belt, the extreme boots, the Poetryzer, anyway is the best especially for mage. For the second profession, go for enchanting for the 24 more spell damage. And the most obvious one, first aid of course. The priority is to reach the hit cap 4% or 3, I don't know exactly. Then spell haste, spell damage, intelligence. It goes without saying that you need resilience, but as a mage the best would be to play with a gear of 70% PvP items and 30 PvE. Because you have a lot of survivability and because the hit and the spell haste are mostly in PvE items. Arena compositions. The best tooth comp as a mage hits with a DP. So if you wanna reach the highest rate possible, this is the one you must choose. The Fear, power infusion, fence up, a nice burst assistance from the priest, and a nice defensive assistance from the mage. Rogue Mage, a really powerful but mostly extremely fun, which is by the way my favorite one, because we are talking about short and intense matches instead of endless games. You can also play with a Shadow Priest. This comp is pretty cool, you can reach a nice rate with it, but once you will fight the top ladders comps played by the best and the most optimized players, it's gonna be complicated. In 3s, well, as DP Mage and Rogue are the best setup in 2s, let's mix all of them and beam you'll get the famous RMP. You have Shadow Play as well, SP, Mage, and Restosham. Specializations. It's not new if you wanna compete, it's Frost Mage of course, even though there are a few cool specs like Fire. I love playing Fire Mage, it is way more dynamic, no pushback, a lot of instant spells, Dragon's Breath, Blast Wave, a sprint. I put some links in the description if you wanna see its potential. Then there is Elemental. If you played in Classic, you got the idea. Except that now you can pick the Ice Barrier and the Sprint. This spec is so freaking cool. But unfortunately it loses its value over the extension. So at the start of TBC, try it out. Links in the description. Anyway, it's obvious that all of those specs are weak compared to Frost. About the spec, it's kinda this one. What's in white are the main talents. The rest, especially in the Arcane tree, it depends of people. Some prefers playing with the improved Mythol, others with the magic attunement. It's not a big deal. Anyway, that's the end of this video. If you liked it, don't hesitate to like and subscribe. I will do the same for all the classes. Take care of yourself and see you next time.